Okay, folks, good evening. We're going to get started. Today is Wednesday, May 24th, 6 p.m. This is the Public Safety Commission meeting, Greenfield, at the John Zon Center. Good evening. I'll just make a few opening statements. First, the recording statement. This meeting is being recorded by the Public Safety Commission. If anyone other than the city or commission is recording this meeting, you must notify the commission at this time. Is anybody else recording at this time? Okay, thank you. In accordance with Mass General Law 30A, Section 20, no person shall address the meeting of the public body without permission from the chair, and all persons shall, at the request of the chair, be silent. No person shall disrupt the proceedings of a meeting of a public body. If after clear warning from the chair, a person continues to disrupt the proceedings, the chair may order the person to withdraw from the meeting, and if the person does not withdraw, the chair may authorize the constable or other official to remove the person from the meeting. I'll call the meeting to order with a roll call. Commissioner Clark?
Present.
Commissioner Jarvis?
Here.
Commissioner McMahon?
Here.
Commissioner Lanoy?
Here.
And I'm here, Commissioner Moscaritolo. We have 5 for the first time in a long time. Welcome. Okay, we have 2 sets of meeting minutes to approve. I gave you guys the March meetings, copy of the March meeting last time. I didn't make copies of that, and I made copies of the April meeting. So you can, and I sent that out earlier. So we'll approve each one at a time. Can I have a motion to approve the March meetings?
I make a motion that we approve the March meeting 2023.
Great. Great, thank you. All right, any questions or concerns or changes for the March meeting? All right, all those in favor of approving, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Great, thank you. All right, moving on. April meetings, minutes. I sent them out earlier. Can I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Thank you.
Second, Jarvis.
Thank you. All right, any questions or concerns or corrections that have to be made? I actually have to correct a few of my mistakes, my own mistakes here. 2, one is motion to adjourn. I don't know why, Commissioner. I was thinking about Smith, but I put Smith instead of Clark. I'll correct that. And also I had a question for Deputy Chief or the Chief. That I just want to make a correction on the meeting minutes if I could. And I apologize. Chief Haig, Chief Strahan, and Deputy Gordon are here with us in the room. Apologize for that. And Mayor Roxanne Weeder Gardner is on Zoom. Could you just give me the correct initials? There was a statement made, Deputy, about internal investigators are mandated to go through the MBDC training. Did I get that right? The initials for that? Last week we talked about public complaints and investigations, and you had mentioned some training, and I didn't get the initials correct.
MPTC.
MTTC.
MP is in Paul,
Okay.
Massachusetts Police Training Council.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for that. I appreciate it. I was close, but didn't win the prize. All right. Any other corrections that have to be made? Okay, thank you. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, moving on. Thank you for that. We're caught up now. I feel better. All right. There's no public in the room at this time. Is there anybody on Zoom that would like to make public comment? If you do, hold on, let me check the participants. There's a few I have to add. Okay, Looks like there are 6 folks on Zoom. If anybody on Zoom wants to make public comment at this time, could you just speak up if you could? Okay, I'll take that as no one on Zoom wants to make a public comment, so we'll move on. Okay, new business. All right, this is the first time in a long time that we've had 5 commissioners at the table here, and we're going to have a reorganization. I'm going to get that out of the way first. I sent the commissioners the description of responsibilities for the chair, vice chair, and secretary. If you're not selected or you don't choose not to hold one of those appointments, there's a lot more work that can be done otherwise. So we'll start with the chair. Do we have any nominations for the chair position? You can nominate yourself or you can nominate other folks. I'm going to nominate David Lanoy as the chair. Is there a second for that? Okay. Would you like to make a statement?
Whether I'll accept it or not?
Yes.
Yes, I'll accept.
Okay. All right. Let's have a roll call vote. We'll start with Ed,
Yes.
Amy. Rick?
Yes.
Okay, I will say yes. David Lanoy, would you like to vote for yourself?
Present.
Present. Okay, got you. All right. It passes, Mr. Chair. Would anybody like to nominate somebody or themselves for vice chair?
I would like to nominate David Moscaratolo.
Okay, I will accept the position and I will call for a roll call vote. Commissioner Lanoy,
Yes.
Commissioner Clark, Commissioner McMahon,
Yes.
Commissioner Jarvis.
Yes.
I've been accepted. Secretary position. And I just want to say something about the secretary position. It's a very important position. We have to make sure the minutes are correct and they're detailed, and it's a little time consuming, but it really is an important position that has to be fulfilled, and we need to make sure we do it right. So is there any nominations for secretary? Because I'd like not to do it as the vice chair. You can nominate yourself. I'm going to give it a minute. Yes. That's okay. We can have open discussion about it if anybody feels like they'd like to discuss the position.
I guess I'll nominate myself, seeing that we have to move this on.
Second.
Good thing I can do it on a computer because you don't want to read my hand scratching.
I'll second that.
Would you like to say any words? We will help you. I will help you out with this. All right, let's take a vote. Commissioner Lanoy,
Yes.
I will say yes. Commissioner Clark. Commissioner McMahon. Commissioner Jarvis.
Reluctantly, yes.
We appreciate you trying this. It's very important. Thank you. All right. We are done with our organization. We will move on. Congratulations, everyone. We'll start with AMR general updates. Patrick, if you want to take the floor. Megan,
Yes.
did you have something to say?
Yeah, I did. I was just going to congratulate Ed on taking one for the team. Thank you very much.
I appreciate that.
It's a good choice.
All right. Patrick, are you there? Can you hear us?
Yes, absolutely. Can you hear me?
Yes. Good. The floor is yours.
Awesome. Great. Well, congratulations to all and good evening on behalf of AMR. It's business as usual for us in the community of Greenfield, collaborating with the chief on any issues that may have come up. I'm not aware of any since the last meeting that was brought to our attention. We do have a graduation happening at our headquarters in Springfield on Friday of a first Earn What You Learn paramedic class of its kind, where we paid employees to go through school, 100% covered by the company. And that will be adding 3 new paramedics to the environment in Greenfield from the current base of employees that we have. So that's great news for Greenfield and the level of service that we'll be able to continue to provide to everybody. I don't have any other updates other than that.
All right. Thank you, Patrick. Does anybody have any questions for Patrick? Okay, of course, I do. Patrick, how many full-time folks are in Greenfield working on a daily basis?
So 24/7, we have 2 paramedic basic ambulances that are on operating, and then during peak hours, which are considered Monday through Friday, usually either a 10 to 6 or 11 to 7, there's a BLS ambulance on, and then at times there's an added 4th ambulance on based on the demand of the curve for the resources that are required during each one of those days. And that's a continuous evaluation that we do every 12 weeks to make sure that the demand does not change at any given time. And if it does, we do look to adjust schedules to capture the demand.
Okay, great. And I think last month, Mark supplied us with like a breakdown of the month. Is that something that you could send to us, whether you're here live with us or not, via email?
Yes, absolutely. I'm sure Mark explained to you guys potentially that we have switched over to a whole new CAD system called Logis. So we are in the midst of streamlining all of our reports due to a differentiating in the way we code things. So I will definitely have that for you. It should be coming through, and then we can add it as a subscription to get it to everybody in time before the meetings happen.
Okay, great. I appreciate that, Patrick.
What
Any
I would
other-
also
I'm
What
sorry,
I
go
would
ahead,
also, yeah, what I would also add is, based on the information that we are sharing, if there's any additional information that anybody would like to see, or information that you don't feel is necessary in those reports, we're more than happy to adjust that and accommodate based on any feedback that we receive.
All right, thank you for that. I'll take a look at it, and I'm sure the other commissioners will, and let you know if there's anything that we want to add or subtract. Thank you.
Thank
All right,
you.
any other final questions?
No, just a clarification. What were the hours of the BLS?
$11A to $7P.
Thank you.
Any other questions? All right, thank you, Patrick. All right, when we move on, we'll start with dispatch updates.
We don't really have anything different than last month. I know Bill's been here consistently, and I appreciate that. I welcome all 5 people, which is nice to see sitting in front of us. Thanks for having me back. Right now, we're still in a little bit of limbo. We do have all 10 employees' seats filled. We just don't have all 10 in the building right now. We hope to rectify that soon. As you know, the budget did not go as I had hoped with the dispatch, so we'll be addressing that probably in the first couple of months after the new budget season starts. But that's all I have for dispatch unless there's a specific question.
Any questions for Chief or Deputy?
As far as the building project's going, it is going out to RFP. We've started getting bills for the work that's done now, and we have a date, I believe, for the move over. We don't have a date, obviously, to move back yet, but things are progressing.
When was did you mention the date last month of the move?
It's somewhere in the first week of July.
Okay, yeah, that's right. Okay, great. So they'll have some extra windows for a while. They'll be happy about that, right?
Exactly. They get to see some daylight for once. So.
I appreciate that. Any questions for dispatch? Great. We're moving right along, folks. I'll go right into the fire department general updates.
Just a general update. I gave you the report. You'll notice that on our payroll update that our overtime was down considerable for the month. Budget update I'll get into in a minute, and then our call statistics are pretty much the same with a couple notable calls on the back of it. We did 315 emergency responses, 67 primary transports, 19 refusals. 2 times we went out of town and 2 times we received mutual aid. So that's that report. There's a couple things that the commission should be aware of that are coming up. The first one is that the firehouse is moving right along. If you haven't had an opportunity to drive by or go, you should see it. The roof throughout the whole building should be watertight by the end of the week. We are hoping that the concrete floors in the rest of the buildings, the outbuilding and the mezzanine, have already been poured, but we're hoping that the rest of the floors get poured starting the end of this month, the beginning of next month. What that means is once the concrete floors are in, they can start putting interior walls up, and then they're going to start moving real quick. So we're happy about that. The fire department took on a huge project, and we are, Ed, you'll appreciate this. We are going to a brand new computer program. So when we first started, when I first started on the department, we did an incident reporting program, and then we added different programs on top of that, inventory programs. We added scheduling programs. We added response programs, and we've just keep adding more and more programs as technology evolves and is so intricate part of the fire department. Well, we found a new program that puts it all under one umbrella now. So it will all be under one program. And so we're in the process of building it out, and we don't have a lot of time to build it out and transfer over because there's no funding really for us to be able to do that. So we need to get this program up to speed in time for the next fiscal year to shut the other programs down. And that's how we're paying for it. It actually is a wash, but it puts it all under one program, which has huge advantages for us. So that's a big project, and we're hoping to be up to speed July 1. I have some sad news. After decades with the city, Lori Cowan has announced her retirement, and she will be leaving us the last part of July. She's sticking around through July to help us transition from this year's budget into next year's budget. But she will be leaving us. I am pleased to report that we had 24 applicants for her job, and we will be interviewing not next week, but the week after, with a hope of a start date of July 1 for the new person. So we're excited about that. Deeply saddened that Lori is leaving. She's been a hallmark of the fire department, and she will be missed greatly. With that, one important thing to be aware of is the fire department will be going for $100,000 transfer from the general fund accounts for shortages that we have within our operating budget. The overtime budget, we're asking for 70,000 as of April. We were 25,000 in the hole. If you remember, or maybe I didn't get a chance to explain it, but I did a report back in the first part of January saying that we were looking at a couple $100,000, between $150,000 and $200,000 in overages and overtime. We've got that knocked down to 70,000 by some corrections and some changes. And we anticipated that at the beginning of the year. We didn't anticipate it going over that much, but between IOD and other leaves, long-term leaves, which we have no way to replenish that when someone leaves for a long time, it's costly. Our general overtime is right on target what we budgeted for. So emergencies and stuff like that, the best that we can, we're right on target. It's the stuff that we can't plan on, the injured on duty, the 12-week baby leave, those. And then the other part of it is 13,000 for the buildings and grounds line item. The transfer switch for the fire department died, and so we had to buy a new transfer switch at the tune of close to $10,000. And the air compressor dryer also died over the winter, so we had to replace those. Those are two items that had to be emergency purchases because we can't be without a generator, and we can't have air that has moisture in it going into our trucks. So both of them had to be replaced immediately. So we're asking for $13,000 transfer for that. That should go to City Council, and City Council will make hopefully a vote on that to help us out with that. And that's what I have. If anybody has any questions.
Any questions, commissioners?
Yeah. So I have one last thing that I'd like to end on, if there's no questions about budget or anything like that.
I had a quick question.
Sure.
The equipment that's breaking down, is it have to do with just, in the environment that it's in right now, being in a temporary place or, outside and, that's,
It's a
I'm
great
thinking
question.
yes, right?
So the answer is actually no. So the transfer switch is a transfer switch that came from the old firehouse.
Yeah, I meant that too. It's used equipment, right? It's some of this stuff in the temporary is from the old.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it came from the old firehouse. It was 30, 40 years old. We were hoping it was gonna limp through. It did not. So unfortunately we had to get that. The dryer for the air compressor was new, but the dryer was old. That dryer should be used in the new firehouse. So, but because it's in our existing conditions, we have to take care of it.
I was going to ask if there was plans to take portions of what's in the temporary to the new, not without detail. I think there is some things, right? Systems,
Minor.
Yeah. Okay.
Most of the stuff that's in there came from the old firehouse. So
Gotcha. All right. Thank you. And you had something to add?
I did. I want to share a call that we had this weekend. And I think it's important that I highlight it because it highlights what this community's public safety agencies are about and how they handle difficult situations. We had a call. The police department received a walk-in from a gentleman that was concerned about an elderly lady in Greenfield. He was trying to deliver some food and couldn't get in the house and, stopped by and said, I don't know if I should be concerned about this, but somebody ought to check. And so the police officers responded, arrived on scene, and discovered one of the worst hoarding situations, and I've been to a lot of them, a hoarding situation that we've had in a very, very long time, with an elderly female in really bad conditions. I don't want to go into details, but like I said, it was pretty bad. It wasn't a good sight, and she obviously didn't want to leave. And so the police department called the fire department for assistance with our ambulance, and we went up with our crew. CSO was called, clinician came out. We worked with local inspectors, we worked with the hospital, and we were finally able to help this elderly female out of the building and get medical attention. And she, from what I understand, is doing well. The reason why I bring that up is because I ended up responding to the scene, and the care and compassion that I saw from the responders, from the multiple police officers that were there, from the firefighters to CSO and the hospital, is really a credit to public safety in this community. And I think it's something that is often overlooked. This was not a easy scenario to deal with. It is still ongoing. There are still issues that we have to deal with. But at the end of the day, I feel good that this female was able to get some help. There are going to be some challenges moving forward. But everybody that was there did a remarkable job. And I couldn't be prouder of the efforts of our public safety agencies. And I wish people in this community could see what I saw on that day. I stood back. I helped out where I could, but it was well in hand by the responders that were there, and they're really a credit to this city. And as the fire chief of this community, I couldn't be prouder to all the agencies that were involved. So I appreciate the time.
I really appreciate you bringing that up, and all three departments bringing up situations and stories so we can educate not only the commission, but also the people of Greenfield. So I want to thank you all, because I know you are all involved in that. Again, thank you. Any other comments or questions for fire? Okay, we will move on to the police reports.
I think the deputy chief sent you the statistics from last month, so I'm not going to really go into those. You can look at those. Not a big update. We're training one right now. We've got 2 in the academy, and we're getting ready to put out for full-time applications after the budget year. So that should hopefully fill our ranks, and we can move forward with our promotions and start getting back to some sense of stabilization. Budget for the rest of the year is what it is. It's no different than what I gave back in February. We're going to be as tight as humanly possible. We'll make it with the agreement that we have in place currently. So I don't really have anything else up to date outside of obvious things like our cruisers are breaking down. We've had some accidents that fortunately weren't our fault. Unfortunately, we had cameras, so that has been a good thing. And we're not going to be getting any, so we've got to kind of take care of those. So we're in the process of fixing all those right now. So if I can answer any questions, I'd be happy to.
Any questions from the commissions? And the sheriff has 1 deputy on every shift, correct? And that's going to continue to the end of June?
The agreement we had is that we would have them until the end of June unless they're needed back there. They're obviously coming into their vacation season as well. So currently right now we have 24-hour coverage from the sheriff with 1 person. But again, that will plan on ending, I should say, at the end of June or sooner if they need the coverage. And it's been a great partnership, to be honest with you. It's really worked out better than what we had thought. So I appreciate what they're doing for us, and they're very happy to be there, and our people are happy to have them. So
Yeah, I get that feeling. I've taken a few ride-alongs and met two of the deputies, and they seem to get along very well with you, your folks. And they seem to be enthused about helping out. So we let them know we appreciate it. Any other questions for the police department? I wanted to ask Mayor Weeda Gardner if she had anything she wanted to add to the meeting at this time.
Not really, just some reflections sitting here. I am delighted that I see 5 people on the Public Safety Commission. Rick, are you sure you want to go? Uh-oh.
Does this work? Yes. Yes, I plan to go end of June.
Well,
I've had a good long time to think about it, and I'm just getting a lot more anxious as time goes along, and I think I best go.
well, I appreciate that. And thank you for your service. And, you know, it's wonderful to see the chief, Chief Haig and Deputy Chief Gordon and Chief Strahan there at the table. It's just very heartwarming to me this evening to see this Public Safety Commission after all of the strife that we've been through, working through things. And I congratulations, Commissioner Lanoy. I look forward to your chairmanship, and I'm here if you need me. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Mayor. I did want to make a brief comment, just to, not to go off the reservation, but to commend you for a couple of things that have happened in the past week. The first is the My Turn that you wrote. And then the second was your very articulate response to another budget question that came up. I think it was during the week. You know, and I just want to say that you wrote the My Turn. We hear a lot about transparency. You wrote a My Turn, and I read it as a citizen. I didn't read it as one of your appointees. I read it as a citizen who loves the community and pays taxes. And I read it with the background that I have in municipal and state government. And everything you said in the My Turn was perfectly true and logical and on point, and it couldn't have been written better. It was an explanation of how the budgeting process works, how municipal funding works, why it's complicated. And I just, if there's any citizen that didn't see it, please read it, because it was great. And it was an exemplification of the complexity of what this is. We're all in this together. And then I guess later in the week, there was another issue that I read about relative to the orders that you were going to withdraw. I just want to echo to folks that in my experience, the things you're talking about are real. The insurance money, the things that sometimes look like surpluses that are not. You know, those are the details. And I just wanted to say on the record how appreciative I am to serve here in this role, and to read and hear the stewardship that you've enunciated this past week. Thank you for that.
I'm humbled by that, Commissioner, and thank you very much.
Thank you, Mayor. All right, I think we're finishing up here. I did want to just say welcome to Amy as a commissioner, and we look forward to working with you. All right. I don't think we need to go into an executive session. Does any commissioners feel we need to go into an executive session? Okay. Oh, go ahead. No. Oh, no, go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Yep.
Thank you. Sorry, didn't know we were moving on. That's okay. I personally want to thank Counselor Gwynn, Forgy, Healy, Elmer, and Ricketts for your support in the budget, for your insight into a very complicated situation. It was very hard to listen to some of the philosophies on the council on that. And I'm always known as one that to say what I have to say, so I'm saying it. I was very appalled. I heard that some teachers were clapping in the background. In my 30 years, I've never heard another department clap because a department got cut. I spent 30 years in the fire department where we didn't always get what we wanted to get. And never did we stand in an audience and clap. I'm appalled that some of our teachers did. I am not throwing every teacher under the bus because I don't lump people into one lump sum. I was appalled that when I heard that. Never in 30 plus years have I ever seen that at a public meeting, at a budget meeting ever. Glad that a department got cut. You should be ashamed. On a brighter note, this weekend is Memorial Day. I'd like to say that we should all reflect on everybody, our soldiers, our in the armed forces, our police, our fire, our EMS, and not think of it as a day off, but think of it as people that have sacrificed and given to this great country. And I hope that people just take a minute to reflect on that. Because sometimes we forget about it and that it's just another day off. So if you see somebody, you know, it's just not the people that have passed. We have lots of people now returning that their wounds are not visible and that they deal with it every day and that, you know, a part of them are dying too. So we should remember them on Memorial Day also. And let's just remember them come Memorial Day and that it's not a day off. I'm done being off the reservation. There we go. And David's coin.
Thank you, Commissioner. Does anybody else have anything to bring up? I rushed right into closing the meeting out before I asked, sorry. I'm going to make one statement, and I made this statement at the council meeting, and I'm going to make it probably more than tonight, but I'm going to say it again. And this is what I said. I said, I believe we take advantage of our first responders, only dealing with them as a line item on paper. We expect them to be machines, forgetting that they have personalities, feelings, they get tired, they get frustrated, they get hurt, and they carry an enormous amount of stress. And I just needed to say that. So with no further ado, can I have a motion to adjourn? A second?
Second.
Thank you, commissioners. The meeting tonight has ended. Have a good night.